Hi, I'm Mark Sublette, and I'm author of the Bloom series, Charles Bloom. I think a lot of people are kind of interested how I came up with the idea to write this murder mystery. I've always wanted to write murder mysteries. My background is as a physician, and that gave me an insight, I think, into the world of how you kill off people. I've always liked puzzles, and I've always thought that I could write one of these, so I decided to do a series that would relate to what I know, which is in the Indian arts field, arts, and the Southwest. So Charles Bloom, the protagonist, is an art dealer, and the books are set in Santa Fe and also on the Navajo Nation, primarily at the trading post, Totalina Trading Post, which is a real active trading post, and one I highly recommend you go out to see. One of the things I wanted to accomplish in this book was really to give you a feel of what it's like to be in the art world. And I think one of the greatest compliments I ever got was after the first book was done, which is Paint by Numbers. A dealer came up to me and he goes, "You can't write that stuff." And I said, "Sure, I can write it. It's fiction." And I think it just hit a little too close to home for him. And that's, to me, that meant I did a good job on the books. There's 5 in this series. The first one is Paint by Numbers. Paint by Numbers is the beginning of the series in which Charles Bloom is concerned over the death of one of his most famous artists, Willard Yellow Horse, and this occurred 20 years ago. Now, Bloom owns a little gallery on Canyon Road about halfway up, and he deals in Native American art, but only contemporary stuff. And Willard was really an amazing artist who ended up dying, supposedly of a suicide, and Bloom just didn't believe this was the case. So ultimately it takes place on Bloom trying to figure out what happened 20 years ago, and of course that propels him into all sorts of trouble, and he ends up meeting and falling in love with Willard's younger sister, Rachel Yellow Horse. So it takes place in Santa Fe, Totalina, and also New York City and Boston. The second book is Intercrossing. Intercrossing is set in the Kayenta up by Canyon de Chelly. It also takes place in Austin. And it's more about textiles, specifically a great Daisy Tlagalchi, who is one of the most famous Navajo weavers. It also involves early blankets. The third book, Hidden Canyon, which takes place in, always in Santa Fe, Totalina, and this time also Los Angeles and San Francisco, deals with petroglyphs and set in a canyon deep in the heart of the reservation. The fourth book, which is a book on turquoise, it's called Stoneman, and I originally came up with this idea when I was sitting down talking to a dealer collector, and we were talking about his love for turquoise, and I said to him, I said, "You're really a stone man." And he goes, "Yeah, I am a stone man." And that little Nidus was what really propelled me into the book, and I wanted to get all into the jewelry trade, and it deals with fake Indian jewelry, specifically Navajo jewelry. And I think one of the good compliments I got out of this book is I had a trader who's been an Indian arts dealer for over 40 years came to me and he said, "Wow, I knew that guy." And I thought, yeah, well, all my characters are completely fictional, but I got the essence of what it meant to be an old trader in turquoise. And so that's the fourth in the edition. The fifth book is The Butterfly Twins. It recently came out, and it may be my favorite in some respects because it takes place starting in about 1200 AD, working its way up through the conquistador period in Juan de Onada, all the way to Charles Bloom's lap. And this book, the Nidus, occurred when I was coming home from Santa Fe in the summer to Tucson, where I have a gallery, and I was thinking of my casita, which I had just started to work on with the Historical Society, and it was that little nugget of the Historical Society that said, maybe here's something. And basically I'd written the book by the time I got home, so in 7 hours I understood where the book was going to go, hopefully where it would end, and then I just had to finish up the middle. The one thing I'd like you to take away from these books, besides hopefully a good yarn and a mystery that you have to really think about and can't just get in the first few pages, you really have to look at all the little details, but I also want to educate you just a bit. So in these books you'll things of native culture, arts. These will be real items that you can take home. These are factual. I try to make sure they're factual, and of course you get to see a little bit of the underbelly of the art world, and that's always interesting. You can buy these books either on ebooks, Amazon. You can always call our gallery if you'd like to get an inscribed book. And I hope you get a chance to read the Charles Bloom Murder Mysteries. Thank you.